The world is full of wonders.
Magic is waiting in small moments.
And monsters might be watching, just out of sight.
But if you're looking to find them,
adventure is waiting to happen.
You never know who you'll meet along the way.
We are the Storyteller Squad. Hello, adventurers. Welcome back to the Storyteller Squad. Thanks for joining us for more Monster of the Week. Before we begin, let's check in with our heroes.
Come up to the lab.
See what's on the slab.
I see you shiver.
With Antissa.
Patient. We are the Storyteller Squad. Let's do the time warp again.
Let's do the time warp again.
Very quickly, introductions.
I'm Damien Edgecrest.
I'm Raven Eugenia.
I'm Ariel Valentine.
I'm Hugo Rashad.
I'm Agent Whitaker.
And I'm Aiden Brightwood. Let's have an adventure.
Yay!
Last time, Valentine escaped custody at the Eastie Agency Holding Center thanks to a breakout from her colleagues in Salem's gang. When she returned, she was told by her partner, Dr. Victoria Salem, that with the Philosopher Stone, their group was on the cusp of unprecedented achievements. But having doubts about the direction Salem is taking their group, Val stepped away for some time to contemplate and wound up at the community center in Portland and ran into Hugo Rashad returning home after his late night vigilante patrols. Hugo agreed to give Val access to the library, where she began to do some basic research on artifice, having suspicions about some of the dubious nature of her partner's creations. And in the morning, our heroes on Rogue Team were caught up to speed by their colleagues about the break-in and were sent to the community center to find Valentine when it was revealed that Damien had placed a tracker inside of her artifice hand. They ran into some agents already on the scene and dealt with their dubious questioning of Ria and Zuri Singh, but Valentine already had left, catching wind of the agency's arrival. So, our group decided to track her down to the Rookery, a cafe they enjoy to frequent when they have time to meet as friends, now the location of a questioning ambush. And so we saw Raven and Hugo meet with Val inside and question them regarding her place within Salem's gang and what she thought her partner and leader might be up to. We left our heroes after it was revealed to Valentine that even her own bit of artifice included a vampiric mark, implying that Victoria has been siphoning everyone in the gang's life energy, even Valentine's. So, hunters, what do you do?
Okay. Val had just gotten off the phone.
You had just got off the phone with Salem.
Yep. She snaps her phone shut. Her back is still to Hugo and Raven for just like a couple extra seconds too long. And then she turns around, promptly sits back down in the booth and goes, okay, we maybe have about 25 minutes before I need to go and start making some preparations. So I'm going to give you what I know. You're going to get your little agency friends and you're going to fuck up her project. Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
And you are going to need the backup because whatever she's working on, it's big. Don't ask me for the details. I'm not any sort of artificer. But I know Victoria. And I know whatever she's building, it's going to be dangerous. She reaches over and grabs a napkin and pulls a pen out of her pocket and starts like sketching out a rough template of the warehouse.
Ooh.
Where Victoria's lab is based. And she's like quiet for a few seconds as she does this. And she kind of pauses and she goes, "How did you find me here, by the way?"
Raven's going to glance over at Hugo.
Hugo's going to glance over at Raven.
Oh, no.
You're the authority.
Yeah, I know. I was hoping I could be the interrogation questions and Hugo could be the more friendly stuff, but...
Well, you're not that difficult to find, especially when other people have had their hands on your stuff.
Was that a hand joke?
Oh. Wasn't meant to be, but it is now.
Great. Love that.
Raven just looks at Val's hand, glances down at it, and then back up to Val.
Can't resist.
Yeah. Whether the pun was intended or not, she can't help it.
Incredible.
If we're working together on this, if this is clear Val's kind of on our side now, I think it feels fair to tell Val that we have a tracker, right?
It's a show of trust. It's the good move.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so I think if Val doesn't pick up on that glance, Raven will kind of gesture to the hand and be like, they put a tracker in it while you didn't have it. We can take it out if you want. I can show you where it is.
Show me where it is. But leave it for now. You're going to need it.
Okay. And Raven will hold her hand out for Val's hand and like gesture, not really like open it or like do the thing. Cause I don't think she really knows how, but she knows where the tracker is. So she'll direct Val to show her.
She'll pop off the back plate and like let her show her where it is. And she will remember that for later. And once that's squared away, she goes back to sketching out the diagram of Salem's lab, labeling little places like main entrance, main workshop. There's like sort of like the main warehouse where it can be used for a variety of different things. And then she'll say, the warehouse has 2 floors. There's no windows on the first floor. On the second floor, there's a few windows sort of lining the ceiling just to let in some light. And there's 1 skylight on the roof. It's not very big. And there's the main entrance. Those are probably going to be your best entry points. There's 1 way in to Salem's workshop and only 1 way in. There's at least, how many gang members are there, Natalie?
It honestly varies like who is around, but there's probably like 6 core and then maybe a dozen lesser ranked members. It's still a relatively small operation.
Yeah.
Salem is a criminal and the leader of a gang, but she's not like a crime boss, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So she'll reiterate that and just say there's a little over a dozen of us. About 6 are her actual core team. The rest of them, they're grunts and sacrificial lambs, apparently.
Is there anyone in particular from the core group or the grunts we should be aware of? Any specific artificing tricks that they might have that we should keep an eye out for?
You should watch out for ops. Shredward just does, Shredder. Or is it just Shred? I forget.
Shredder is the Ninja Turtles villain.
That's what it is. Sorry. So Shred will mess you up with those chainsaw hands of his. And you should watch out for Anton, too. They're both really strong.
Anton, or Ton, is the man with the augmented legs that Aiden fought at the warehouse, Raven.
But Ops, she sees everything.
Oh, Ops is and Raven will like gesture to her eyes.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. Met her. Good to know.
Those are the guys to watch out for. The rest of them, they have their own specialties, but nothing that I think you couldn't handle.
Some preparations should be made in advance.
We're not going to go in guns blazing and mow all these people down. I would like to see these people like interrogated and given a second chance. I don't think they're all here fully understanding what's going on behind those doors of the lab.
I couldn't tell you for certain. I'm not exactly close with anybody except Victoria. Or I thought I was.
Ouch. True, but ouch. It stings. It stings. I set it up and it stings.
Yeah, you did it. You did this.
I did this to me.
You created her.
You fucking did this.
You did this.
Yeah. Yeah, you did. Suffer your consequences.
Well, we're all gonna suffer the consequences shortly.
Raven's been taking notes, by the way, in addition to the map that Val sketched out. She's adding additional notes of the exits and the skylights and anything that might not show up on her little sketch.
do we have like a specific like street that we could find the warehouses off of? Because like I'm sure they're gonna need to pinpoint the exact one, but like in terms of like giving instructions,
I was gonna ask if your little map had like it's on this street and this street.
I think she would put like an indicator of like, oh, this is the street that they're in. Here's like the cross street nearest to the warehouse, but because from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, Natalie, it's like a bunch of them like lined up one after another. So there's not necessarily streets running between them, like actual proper streets.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but if you could give us like an indication of
Like where the lot is.
yeah. Plus if you're going there and we're still gonna be able to track you, we'll find it.
The agency can triangulate based on where you end up, Val. But the area that Salem's lab is, we haven't really defined that.
Yeah, we haven't fleshed it out super hard.
I can't imagine that it's actually in the industrial district, considering she's usually stealing from people there. And like, you would want to be further away.
Yeah.
So it's got to be some other area of the city. And I haven't defined exactly where it is in Portland.
So long story short, she gives you the cross street where the lot where this particular warehouse is. There might be other ones around it. We don't really know.
The point is, it's inconspicuous.
Yeah, it's inconspicuous. She's keeping the tracker. You'll have the exact location when she's there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
After a few minutes of this like sketching or whatever, if Jules comes back upstairs, she's gonna flip the napkin over really quickly and just flag her down. I know this is rushed and very last minute of me, but I needed to go order for 2. The usual.
Yeah, right away.
Thanks. And then as soon as she's gone, she kind of just like sits back in the booth a little bit and just looks at the two of them. Okay, we've got about 10-15 minutes before Julie is done. Got any questions for me?
How are you feeling?
I'm not going to think about that right now. There's too much work to do.
Okay.
We'll check in again when it's over.
She just kind of makes like a weird face. And she just goes, well then, if that's all, she's going to get up from the table and position herself to leave, tucks her hands into her pockets and says, I guess I'll see you soon.
No, you won't.
She just kind of squints at Hugo and like smirks a little bit because this guy is so fucking odd.
I don't think that one phases Raven at all. She's very used to that, but Raven's gonna get up too, and she's gonna hold out her hand for Val to shake.
Ooh. I think she kind of like glances around, like not moving her head. She kind of just like glances in her peripheral to see like who else is in the rookery today, if anybody, and to see if they are looking in their direction. This is just like a thing she's accustomed to doing. And if there's nobody like watching them, if there's nobody really up there with them, aside from maybe the rest of the crew,
Roll sharp. Let's see who might be around.
let's fucking go.
At least when Val first got there wasn't anybody else up there.
When she first got here. Yeah. You said plus sharp?
Mm-hmm.
That is a 6. This is work experience. It's work experience.
The only people you make note of are the 3 other agents who are outside and downstairs, but you can see them talking to Big T, the other Minotaur proprietor of this cafe.
From all the way in the back on the 2nd floor? Damn. Okay.
And there's big like arched windows to like let a bunch of natural light in on the ground floor, so you can like kind of. And then again, 2nd floor is like, how do I want to say this? The center is like cut away, so you can. It's all open.
It's like all balcony, right?
Balcony style.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Clarification, Val doesn't see the 3 agents. Val sees 2 agents and notices a 3rd very handsome man dressed all in green.
Fair.
So true, bestie, so true.
I mean, you guys were all in street clothes, but sure.
She would have recognized them from when they arrested her.
Yeah. She would have also recognized Damien then in his weird ice cream stunt.
Yeah, she knows who you are. When we see you look over to the 3 agents outside with the 3 of you talking to Big T, Aiden has been talking to him about the hydroponic garden that he has outside and like these tomato plants. She's like, so like, how are you getting plants, making fruit this late in the season? Oh, well, we got like a greenhouse and we set them up over here. So we just bring them out during the days so they get a nice bit of sunshine, but we keep them all warm at night with heaters and things like that. We want to have the most fresh stuff throughout the years as much as we can. Maybe I'll set one up at the apartment. I don't know.
Whitaker's not a gardener. He's exchanging workout tips. Bro, your biceps are fucking massive.
Big T's having 2 conversations at once.
Yep.
One about gardening, one about working out.
Whitaker is just having a conversation with the biceps. Like, you don't need Big T for that. It's a lot of, like, wow.
He turns to you holding a big bag of like mulch. He's like, well, gardening's a good way to get yourself in shape. It's just a lot of lifting up and down, and getting in the dirt there with your, If you want to lend a hand around here, I would be happy for the help. And, it's an easy workout for you. So, yeah.
Oh, I don't like dirt. Sorry.
He has like a little trowel that he's like making little holes for like seeds to put in. He's like, I can't get enough of this stuff.
I love him.
If Big T was single, Whitaker could learn to love dirt. That's a different podcast. Back to you.
Subscribe to the Only Cryptids if we have it out by the time this.
I was about to say he might be married. Doesn't mean he's monogamous.
That's true.
Whitaker still has a chance.
Whitaker, the most shippable character on this show.
We'll ship him with anyone.
Oh, Mel.
We'll ship him with dirt.
I fully missed what Mel said. I was too busy picturing Whitaker in a happy relationship with a satyr and a minotaur.
Damien is busy taking pictures of his one true love, himself. So getting some nice selfies in. The restaurant's a good background for it.
They have this like cute little hanging garden for some of their vegetables outside still and this little side greenhouse so that they can continue to grow things throughout the fall season before it gets really too cold to make anything. Anyway, fun scene. We cut back to Val.
Raven's still holding her hand out. In reality, it's been like half a second.
The unrequited handshake.
If Val hesitates too long, she'll just awkwardly pull her hand back. It's not a big deal. She was just trying to extend. Like, she was just trying to be polite.
I think even if nobody is watching,
Again, you don't know that, but you didn't see anybody.
yeah, even if she has not perceived anybody watching her, is what I should say. I think she still doesn't shake your hand, only because y'all were the bearers of bad news. Like, that comes with some loaded feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's okay.
yeah, she kind of just like hesitates half a second too long and sort of just like looks at your hand, looks at you, looks at your hand.
She pulls it back. You know what? It's fine. She gets it.
You see a small furry paw reach up and give Raven a high five, and Wendy will leap up onto your shoulder.
Oh my God, that's so fucking cute.
They're going to save your social moment for you, Raven.
I love it. But regardless of the failed handshake that she was trying to do, she will look at Val and say, I'm really sorry this is happening to you. Thank you for helping us.
Don't be sorry and don't thank me yet. And then she's gonna leave.
Oh, what a line! Jesus! I fucking love Valentine so much.
Fair enough. She's just going to turn to Hugo and like, okay, that's done.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
She'll give Wendy a little scritch on their chin.
Yeah. They nuzzle back.
She's always got my back.
What do we do next?
Raven's going to head back downstairs.
Raven, Hugo, you have to report back to your other friends.
Raven has the map and her notes.
Yes, you do. So yeah, you come downstairs. You can say goodbye to Astrid inside at the bar and then come out into the garden area.
They got to-go cups for their coffee and they wave to the people who work there as they leave.
Mm-hmm. How'd it go?
Better than expected. Val's gonna help us. And she's gonna open up her notebook and like show everyone very quickly the map on the napkin and then close it again.
Yeah, maybe we take this back to the base.
Yeah.
Did you guys really get more information having a conversation with her than we did during an hour interrogation?
Oh yeah, loads more information.
We didn't have a Hugo.
Yeah.
Different methods.
The Hugo is key.
I mean, to be fair, it's on a napkin. It's clear she's not an architect, but no, I mean, it's looked hopeful.
Are you sure? Raven, was she suspiciously cooperative? You got a hand-drawn map?
Yeah, this could be a trap.
I wouldn't say suspiciously so. I don't think we really had her when we first sat down, but then she got a phone call and I think that cinched it for us. And she left the tracker.
You're saying you had a conversation with her and she got a call from someone and suddenly she's giving you all that information.
It's certainly suspicious.
Right, that doesn't strike you as strange.
Oh no, it was definitely strange.
She said send in backup? I don't know. All I'm saying is we've seen the explosions that this artificer is capable of. I don't want to send in a dozen of our best people just to have them torn apart.
No, that's true. I don't think that we should go rushing in with everybody. This definitely feels like something we need to scope out and approach very carefully. And I don't think that we should trust Val 100% yet. But I do think that this is valuable information. And I don't know. I have this feeling that she wants to help us.
She wasn't lying.
No.
Mel, did Valentine lie at all?
Nope. Not one bit.
Hey, Whitaker, for what it's worth, Raven's never been wrong before.
I've been wrong many times, just not about people telling the truth. It's a very important distinction.
Whitaker looks at Raven and Hugo like they practice a magic he could never even begin to comprehend.
Aiden glances at the map and then looks kind of proudly at Raven, but she will look to Whitaker and she says, assuming this goes well, it's going to be pretty big. And I know we don't like when we have to do this, but we might want to talk to the director.
About what?
I don't know. I mean, she's been at this longer than we have.
Maybe we just do this before she even realizes this is on our radar.
We could, if you think that's safer. I don't feel like I'm ready to fully trust this person, even if you say they're telling the truth.
Yeah, she could have been saying exactly the truth to us, but is still intending to trap us or backstab us or whatever. All I'm saying is the words that she was saying to us just now were the truth. And that could change. And that could have just been a trick. I don't know. Like, you're right. It is kind of weird that she was so cooperative.
Or maybe she doesn't have all the information, or has wrong information.
There's a lot she does not know. She's very, very close to Salem, but I don't think Salem tells her very much.
Wait, she's close to her?
Well, she was.
Are they roommates?
Oh my god, are they roommates?
Well, she did order a meal for two to go, so...
The usual.
Shit. Oh, she's in deep.
Well, maybe that's the angle then. I mean, if you found out your roommate was siphoning your life energy, you might be pretty pissed off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If your roommate left you to die and left you with the government agency to fend for yourself, whether or not you get busted out later, I don't think that fully helps make up for it.
Whitaker looks very uncomfortable by this conversation.
Yep. Why is that? Why would that be, Whitaker?
Shut it, Val. You're not in this scene.
You're not here. Elaborate. No.
No.
See, I'm torn because on one hand, I really like the idea of having it just be our squad that takes care of it. That way all the glory and all the, hey, we kicked butt and, did a great job goes directly to us. But on the other hand, if we do go through Olivia, then there's a better shot at me getting requisitions to get me some bigger explosives.
We want things not to blow up on this job, Damien.
Well, if we don't have a lot of our people in there, then it's okay that stuff blows up.
Okay, so I'm going to schedule you for another retake of the Civilian Safety and Casualty Prevention course when we get back to headquarters.
Can you do me a favor at least?
Absolutely.
I know as much as you don't want to do it, take the safer path. Whatever has the most contingencies, whatever has the least chance of ruining people's lives. Take the safer path.
Aiden, look to you, Whitaker.
Well, shit, I don't know what the safer path is. Don't look at me.
Well, you're the team leader. Who else am I supposed to look at?
At the very least, we need backup on hand. Even if they don't come with us, we need some people ready to go.
I don't want to talk to Director Eastie. She might love the idea of life siphoning. I want to talk to Gimmer and see if he's got more of an idea about what those prosthetics are capable of. And if there's clearly there's some sort of remote access that can make them blow up. Maybe there's some remote access that can make them depower, Surely there is a way to make this a lot easier on us if we know that everyone in there is working with the same type of magic.
It can be an EMP explosion. It doesn't have to be a fiery kind.
That's a smart idea.
That's really true.
And Raven, your instinct to scope this shit out first is excellent. We're doing that as well.
I want us to be safe. Val said whatever Salem is planning is really big. And that makes me nervous.
Well, she does have a Philosopher's Stone now.
Mel, your girlfriend is the Full Metal Alchemist.
Isn't she only like half metal?
She's more of a faux metal alchemist, honestly.
Ooh.
3D printed artifice.
Ooh.
All right.
So we talk to Gimmer, and then we approach slowly.
Yes.
Do we have any other friends at the agency we could talk to in addition to Gimmer? People who might just be able to give us a little bit of help without tipping off of how big of a job this is?
You can loop in any other agents you want. This is Natalie speaking as keeper. If you have other senior agents that you want to bring in on the case, you let me know, and you can try and meet with them at the HQ.
We had that first meeting sort of at the beginning of this arc where Olivia was assigning people stuff. If we know where the warehouse is, can we also just find are there any agents who have been assigned to stuff in that area who might have a vested interest in helping take care of something in that area?
It would also raise less suspicion if we say we're doing something in the area and we ask the agents who are assigned to that area.
Right, because then I don't need director approval for that.
Yeah.
I don't think that the agents have I don't think they're assigned general quadrants of the city to patrol.
Yeah, fair enough.
They're more you have a job in Arizona, you have a job in New York or something like they get sent on away missions. And if there is something in the city, they're just sent to investigate that one thing in that one part of the city. So I don't know that this inconspicuous neighborhood where Salem's got her base hidden would have a reason for someone to be patrolling there in that area.
My thought was more along the lines of not assigned to certain quadrants, but more was there a job that we thought was a separate thing from this that might actually tie into this after all?
Gotcha.
Right, someone was assigned to look at other stolen things that they thought was a different guy, but turns out Salem was stealing those things too.
Okay. From that meeting, I think what I mentioned was there's an ongoing initiative to try and crack down on the people that are dealing illegal spell components, and that there has been this uptick in activity from Salem's gang recently. And I don't think I had specifically designed any Eastie agents who were actively assigned to that. We could do that now if you want. Just come up with a couple agents that might help you.
That'd be cool.
Or you can use some existing ones if you want to bring Tomas and...
They've got a job or assigned to them.
They do have a job, and they're too close to the director.
You could pull them off of it if you wanted to.
No, they're gonna tattle.
They're really close to the director. And Marissa hates Raven, so she doesn't want to work with her.
They're snitches.
What was it? Wasn't it Lincoln Allstaff and somebody else who were...
I mean, yeah, Lincoln and Suthi got assigned to go question Rhea, so I don't know if you want to deal with them right now because we didn't like them doing that, but they were certainly assigned to the task of looking into this as well as you.
That's true.
Gimmer's my go-to. Get some knockout gas in the building since there's only one exit, or he can construct a magical EMP to take out their artificery.
I just say get people on backup because remember what happened last time we fought in a warehouse?
Oh, I mean, we got a little bit of backup. We got one backup.
Yeah, from Hugo's people.
Yeah.
It wasn't agency help.
Can anyone that Hugo knows just kind of have their eyes and ears open when we know we're heading over there?
Hey, we really don't need director oversight for Hugo's people helping out.
Even if they don't come with us, but if they're just ready to go in case shit goes really bad, that would be helpful.
They'll probably be ready to go, but more likely they'll be ready to go in the sense of helping out bystanders and survivors and such.
Which is still valuable.
Yes, actually, I like that a lot more, Hugo, because I don't think anyone wants, agents and Whispered fighting in the same area. I think that could get messy very fast.
Mm-hmm.
But external help is perfect. Okay, Emery here. I don't know how hard we want to lean into, let's do this without Olivia Eastie being, super aware of it. I think that's something Whitaker would like, but it doesn't have to be that important.
She's gonna find out about it eventually, you know what I mean?
I know, and I love asking forgiveness and not permission.
Well, right, you're gonna write a report if this goes well and you capture the gang,
If
right?
it goes well, it won't seem as big of a deal. If we go in there and all goes perfectly, we're just writing a silly little report about how easy it was and how it wasn't that bad.
And it's not that you need permission, right? You are senior agents, you're able to go and use the authority vested in you by being Eastie agents to just perform investigations and, stop magical criminals. But because there is this concern of it could just be a very explosive trap you're being led to, having full agency support and not just like your team behind you is an option. It's not an option you have to do, but it's an option that you could pull on if you wanted to.
If this goes wrong, it can go very, very wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do as much prep on this as possible, but ultimately I want this quick. I want to go in before Val has time to make preparations against us. That would be ideal for me. The sooner we can get this wrapped up and done, the better, with as few people knowing about it as possible.
Agreed.
Last one, there's a rotten egg.
So we see you all get on your bikes, right? You all took your motorcycles out today?
Yeah, baby, we're on the bikes!
I love last one, there's the rotten egg, and Damien goes and jumps in the sidecar of the motorcycle.
Oh my god.
It's like, where are you going, bud?
Sorry, bud, we're driving the speed limit today.
First one on a bike, though, so he's not the rotten egg.
Goodness.
Anyway, we see you all leave, but we quickly camera pan back into the rookery as we see Val come down and be handed a to-go order by Jules, the young server at this cafe.
Thanks for making this happen so quickly. You're the best. And she passes her like I'm gonna guess that this whole meal is probably like $15. She hands her 40 and says, "Keep the change," and is gonna make her way out.
She kind of at this point expects a big tip. She's not sure why you always give her so much like extra.
She's
but
definitely like given the excuse of like, I've worked service industry and it sucks, and that's why she tips so well. And she's like, and you're a nice kid, you know? Like
Mm-hmm. But as you're like headed for the door, she goes, "Ari, is everything okay?"
everything's fine. Just work's about to go belly up.
Okay, well, just be safe. If you don't come in here anymore, then I'm going to find another way to pay my way through college.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll still be around. And she'll go.
Ding ding. You leave the shop. Where do you go?
First stop is the condo she's been crashing in. She needs to move house before shit goes tits up.
Mm-hmm.
For context for everybody, Ariel Valentine doesn't have her own apartment. Ariel Valentine waits for people to leave their homes on vacation, breaks in, and crashes there for the time that they're gone. She's been staying in this condo for a couple of weeks now. So
Can I add a detail?
go right ahead.
You were just getting comfy in this place too, because this is like the apartment of like an old couple that always moves to Florida
Oh my God, yes, they go to Florida for like 6 fucking months.
for the fall and winter. So you
The
had like,
snowbirds, as they're called.
Yes.
you saw them leave and you're like, oh, nice. My nice 6-month like winter
A
place.
score.
Yeah. Like you've stayed in their house before.
Yeah, okay. She's been staying there for like a month. And so she's gotten real comfy. And she's just like as blank faced as she can possibly be. She cannot be thinking about like anything right now. It's that very like gotta get things done mindset. She gets up to the condo. She starts cleaning up whatever dishes she had. She's usually pretty clean in general because she doesn't want to leave a trace that she's there. She makes sure that she puts everything back the way that she found it. She empties the few other outfits that she has out of a closet. There's a couple of wigs. They're kind of wrapped up in like the little hairnet things and then shoved into his like Ziploc baggies.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's stuffing those into the bag as well. There's a leather jacket on the bed, a little too large for her actually. It's probably like supposed to be like a men's size large or extra large. And she would maybe be a men's size small. She picks it up, kind of looks at it for a second, reaches into the pocket. There's a photo, shoves it back in the pocket, shoves it all in the bag, zips it up, does another once over, like makes the bed, grabs some of the old lady's perfume and like spritzes it so it doesn't smell like her in there. And then she leaves down the fire escape to... I should correct myself. I said she doesn't have a place. She has like a checkpoint. I don't know how else to explain it. It's when she's in between places. She knows that the spot has remained empty and it's like a good go-between until she finds a new target. It's definitely not a permanent situation.
Yeah, can I suggest that it is not like a separate apartment or place? It's like not a place you're supposed to live.
No, it's not.
It's like a bell tower or something, you know, like in an old church.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
Not ideal as we approach the heart of autumn.
Yeah, it's not a living space. It is somewhere to crash for a couple nights until she finds somewhere new, and it's cold and awful. and full of pigeon shit. It's like the bell tower of a church, like up in the rafters, very Notre Dame. She stops by there really quickly to just like drop her bag, and she like stuffs it behind. There's like a couple of crates up there storing God knows what. Maybe it's like some extra bells and things like that.
Maybe your magic kit.
Yeah, sure.
I could see her keeping like her illicit spell components somewhere other than where she was staying.
Yeah. She shoves the duffel like behind those crates where nobody should find it if they bother to come up here, which they only do on Sundays. So she never stays here on a Sunday. And then, she's got the food. It's going to be a little cold now. She's going to head back to the warehouse after she's done with that. And all the while, she's just trying to like breathe her way through it.
We see you approach the warehouse and you know what to look for. And I think despite how well Victoria has endeavored to like make it so that you can't tell what's going on inside from like an exterior view of this place, as you're getting close, you can start to see faint little green pulses coming from the corner of the building that you know houses the workshop. And there's sort of a smell of like ozone around this building right now.
I have a quick question about the tracker, actually. Is it something she could easily remove from her hand? I don't remember what it was.
I would imagine it's just like an adhesive. Yeah, it's not like it's screwed or welded in or anything like that.
It's just a little something or other. Like once she knows where it is, she can just like pluck it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can detach, peel it off, toss it, attach, reattach. Yeah.
All right, cool. So I think on her way over, she did remove the tracker and she's kind of just been like holding it in her hand with the bag of like food. She's gonna stop outside the warehouse for a little bit. The tracker is sort of bunched up against the paper bag.
I think before you get to the door, it opens and Ops is there. And she says, "We've been waiting for you. Come on."
Okay. And she'll walk inside.
And the door closes. We will cut back over to our agency friends. Quick question. Hugo, did you go with them?
Yeah, where's Hugo going?
Because I feel like they could get you like a visitor pass to like the lobby, but then like it'd have to be like, all right, wait here while we go do our job.
If anything, he probably went back to the community center.
Sure. Then we'll check in with you once we do this scene at the agency. So yeah, the four of you are headed back to Gimmer's office. Or actually, no, because his office got blown up. Wherever his new like...
His temporary office.
Yeah. It's like up in like the call center of the agency. They just stuck him at some desk. So it's like super loud in here and there's like paper shuffling and just a lot of phones going off.
It's also super loud in there thanks to him because he's still working.
Yeah.
It's good. It means it's harder to record what we're talking about.
True.
You pass Ernie Evanston having his third breakdown of the day. Just, oh my God.
Oh, Ernie.
Must be 2:00.
Yep.
They're just scheduled. That poor guy.
Oh, he should not be working here.
No. He's got a little sign that he puts out. Please wait, we'll be back in 5 minutes. And he's just still at his desk sobbing. Finishes up, takes the sign down.
He's got like a little like 6x6 inch square of AstroTurf. Just,
Touching grass.
Yep. Anyway, so yeah, you find Gimmer behind a bunch of old filed papers and just like boxes of printer paper. And you can see he's like spot soldering something right now. Got like big goggles on.
Oh, hey guys. Welcome back.
Gimmer, hey, yeah, tracker worked like a charm.
Oh, fantastic.
I hope you've been doing nothing else but looking at the prosthetic research. I hope that's been your number one priority since this hit the floor.
He kind of sheepishly looks at this like strange contraption on his desk.
Well, yeah, I was gonna get back to that like right after my lunch break.
Of course. Well, let's get back to it now.
Aiden interrupts. She's like, "There's no lunch here."
Unless, you gonna eat that?
No, okay, my personal self-care aside.
He shoves the whole thing to the ground. It clatters into a box. A bunch of sparks fly out.
It's labeled lunch.
Yeah. He like pulls out like a Twix bar, so he's like
I'm having goblin lunch, okay?
bites into it, wrapper and all.
No.
And that's when Damien shows up with actual lunch from the cafeteria, because he's worked with Gimmer before. He knows Gimmer was working on something and skipping lunch.
Yeah.
Nice.
You gotta bring a food offering.
Oh, nice. So Damien has a food offering.
Ah, thanks, bro.
Sandwich, thing of orange juice.
Dude, this is like perfectly done out for my macros. Like, oh God, you're the best, Damien.
I mean, I pay attention to what you eat, and if I don't feed you, then you don't eat, so it helps.
Resident food wizard Damien Edgecrest.
So what can I help you with?
We need to take out an entire building filled with armed artificed thugs. If you have like knockout gas for the whole building or like an EMP, that would be super cool. Allegedly.
Hypothetically.
Right. You want an alleged EMP and knockout gas. Okay.
Hypothetically, Gimmer, if we were walking into a warehouse with at least, like a dozen people equipped with arms that can turn into guns or whatever, what would you say would be a good fit for that sort of encounter?
Well, backup for one. But also, I mean,
Try something original for me.
Sure. I mean, the explosive from the arm that ruined my office, that was working off a really powerful energy source. Certainly not those batteries that we discovered. I mean, yeah, they would add up if you had a bunch of them, but on their own, they're not doing a whole lot. That's kind of like the insidious part of it. It was like just enough to be taking something without it being really noticeable. Yeah, I mean, if artifice is artifice, it's going to create weapons and things that are dangerous. That's why you all are, equipped with your own countermeasures. But I can come up with probably some kind of signal jammer so that they can't like chain react the way they did in holding. Because when that first one blew, it definitely sent out some kind of trigger that made the other one go. So I can make sure that doesn't happen.
That would be great.
I'm not sure. I mean, we haven't collected all the pieces, and it's tough to run a diagnostic on a thing that blew up as much as that thing blew up. But I have to say, there must have been some kind of spell work, artifice work within that would allow it to sort of send, or even just kick back maybe the extra energy, and it was like channeled forward. Whoever this designer is, they're top of the game.
I'll get you her number.
His cheeks go verdant, like Viridian.
I'm pretty sure they already have a roommate.
I think there's about to be a breakup. There might be an opening for you.
Listen, I know I'm kind of a little fuckboy goblin, but my standards aren't that low. I don't date wanted maniacal criminals.
Noted. That's fair.
I'm not going to respond to that.
Are you trying to ask me out, Whittaker? Devon says you're famously bad at flirting.
No, Gimmer, I'm a professional.
Trying to set you up.
How long do you think it would take you to craft a signal jammer of this kind?
A couple hours, probably. I mean, I definitely want to be looking at whatever pieces we can recover from the two that blew up downstairs. So I'll talk to the cleanup crew and see what they've got as far as what we could maybe piece together and base it off of that. Again, there's no guarantee it'll work because I don't have an actual functional piece of the stuff to look at and examine the base design. But I'll give sort of like a blanket. I'll do my best to jam any sort of magical signals in the area.
Is there any chance it could fuck up any of our magics?
Magic sword, summoning, celestial.
He kind of pauses at Damien.
Right, food stuff.
So new they don't have a name for it yet.
You're breaking new ground, Damien. That's what you're doing. You're breaking new ground.
Yeah.
You said boot stuff, right?
Huh?
You said boot stuff?
I said food
Oh,
stuff.
food stuff.
Boot stuff is a different podcast.
Food stuff's a different Eastie agent.
Listen, at first I thought you said butt stuff, so that's a huge improvement.
Now that's a very different podcast.
That's for the only cryptids.
Ooh.
My magic is butt stuff.
I love that
Right.
for you.
Sorry, let me say that in the voice. My magic is butt stuff.
It has no application as an agent.
No, not at all. Anyway, Gimmer says,
No, I mean, none of your stuff worries about communicating with other magics, so it's also pretty self-contained, I think.
Yeah, also not really useful for what we're going into, so won't have to worry about it.
So yeah, couple hours for the jammer. And then, yeah, I mean, do you want knockout gas and an EMP, Edgecrest?
I would love that. Yes, thank you.
Okay.
If possible, obviously, keeping them from becoming explosive takes priority.
I mean, we've got stock stuff, but again, Artifice runs off of arcane rather than like computer electrical signals, so you might be able to shut off security cameras that they've got, but it's not going to affect any of their prosthetic limbs.
Raven's going to kind of lower her voice a little bit, even though it is loud in this place. It's still trying to keep this on the down low.
Mm-hmm.
So I know we're trying to prevent like a chain reaction between multiple batteries like we've had, but what would happen if there was something way more powerful on its own and it blew up? How big are we talking?
I mean, that really depends on the material you're talking about. Lots of spell components are explosive if they're channeled incorrectly or put into a thing that overclocks the rune inscriptions on them. Without specifics, I couldn't tell you specific results.
Does Gimmer know about the Philosopher's Stone? Is he the one who told us about it originally?
You only know that she has a Philosopher's Stone because the gnomish artificers told you that it was stolen.
Okay, but Gimmer doesn't know that yet. I just don't know if I am asking him about it or if I am telling him up front that she has it.
I can't remember if in the conversation he had with you on the phone, if that was like a thing he mentioned being worried about.
Ooh, maybe.
I think it's safe to say that like he would know because you would have reported it as like, this is a thing now out in this gang's possession.
Yes. I think it was hinted at in that phone call conversation at least.
Yeah.
If not named specifically.
That rings a bell to me. So yeah, I think if you just say pointedly and remind him like, well, they've got this, thing.
Yeah. She's going to like sit down at his desk and get closer. So it's like she's talking so much more quietly now. We know Salem has the Philosopher's Stone, right? What happens if shit goes wrong?
Oh shit, yeah.
Be straight with us. How bad?
I mean, I've never used one. They're really rare. As far as how bad it could be, I don't know. I don't have...
Could the building blow up? Could the city block blow up? Like, how much backup should we be preparing for worst case scenario?
I think it would not be untoward to hire a ward unit or something for at least the block. Let's just say we don't want a Philosopher's Stone exploding, ever. Because I have no way of knowing what its, like, potential is. That's sort of how those things work. What they have contained in them is exponentially, magically allowed to just continue to multiply itself over and over again without actually diminishing. It's really weird magic, and I don't really understand how it works, because again, I've never had one to like look at it and research myself. If you're concerned she's turning that into a weapon, then I would, just for civilian protection, get at least some wards put in place.
Okay, that's good to know.
Guess this is going to be a bigger job than we thought.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I mean, it has been a big problem. If you guys can take out this gang, then like, hell yeah, that's a huge problem off the streets.
We're sure trying. We have some intel that says things could be bad when we get there, so we're just trying to cover all of our bases.
Aiden pipes up and she says, and we don't have the best record when it comes to collateral.
Yeah. I want people ready to go slightly far away. And so that if we need them, they can jump in. But I do not want to like raid this building or have a whole bunch of agents all show up all at the same time. Ideally, just out of game, I'd love for just our team to go in and then have wards maybe just on slightly outside the building and then have some agents back up in like vans or some shit a couple of streets away.
I think we're looking at like 3 sort of external things we need done. Wards, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Someone to get people evacuated from the surrounding buildings, or like a team to get people evacuated and just safely away. That's another one. And then 3, backup firepower, safe distance away, in case we need it.
Is there a reason you guys can't take your time and we could try and nab some of these people now that we like potentially are able to like track them based on facial recognition from the breakout? So like we could try and, a couple days we could go around trying to collect and arrest some of the members of the gang.
We have a very capable artificer armed with the most powerful artifice battery that we've ever heard of. They're only creating more problematic things as time goes on. We need to get at this as soon as we can.
Ah, shit, you're right. Yeah, that's definitely a factor.
Well said, Damien. Well said.
Yeah.
And Raven, you talked to her. How urgent did it seem?
Pretty urgent.
You talked to who?
We had a lead. Don't worry about it.
I don't like when you say that, Whitaker.
The sooner we do this, the more we can trust her intel. I think if we let this sit too long, we risk her changing her mind.
Okay, well, like I said, couple hours. I would get cooking and contact the other divisions.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Well, you were our first stop.
I'm glad to be first. And glad to have lunch.
Tucks into the sandwich. We don't have to have you guys submitting paperwork and, request forms. But
I was going to say divide and conquer. Damien goes and gets his stuff. Maybe Raven goes and talks to the people who can do the wards.
Damien can get EMPs and equipment for your infiltration, Rogue Team's infiltration.
Mm-hmm.
Raven, you can go talk to the wards division and get a few agents assigned to this that can be sort of under your command.
Mm-hmm.
And then Whitaker, if you want to talk to...
Can go knock on Director Eastie's door.
If you want to tell her, that's up to you.
Do we think, if we're requisitioning other divisions, maybe this would need director approval of some kind or oversight of some kind?
You might not need permission, but it will definitely reach her ears at some point.
It could easily just be a scene of, Whitaker stopping by her door and saying, I'm doing this tonight. I need this, this, and this.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that something you want?
Sure. I think that works.
Okay. I will also say that, Aiden will be the agent that goes and talks to the people for evacuating the area, because I think that's a very smart idea, too.
And very Aiden.
Mm-hmm.
To have, agents going around ahead of time to be like, hey, we're going to need you to leave this area. This is something. We need to keep it quiet. And, they do it sort of staggered, but as sort of a wave of civilian-looking cars driving around of hey, we're visiting. But it's actually agents saying you have to come with us now, kind of a thing.
Yeah. I didn't want to say it in the conversation with Gimmer, but I feel like we kind of said that Whispered would be on call for some of that as well. But we should definitely get agency help officially on paper to be ready for that kind of stuff.
From what I gathered from that conversation, you're going to try and evacuate at least a couple blocks around this warehouse and then set up the wards in that empty zone, basically, so that if anything goes wrong, it's just houses and other buildings.
Yeah.
Yes.
At the very least, evacuate the buildings immediately adjacent to the safe house.
Yeah.
Say it's a bomb threat.
Easy enough. Yeah. Let's check in with Hugo, and then we'll come back to Whitaker for your little chat with Olivia. So Hugo, you get back to the community center. What are you up to in preparation for assisting your friends?
Is anyone around?
Whoever you want. I'm not going to be no, they're buying groceries.
He's just going to call a meeting of any Whispered staff who are at the center still. Rhea, Zuri, Jordan, if they're still around.
Gotcha.
So in classic form, my friends and I are going to possibly be doing something very stupid to try to help a lot of people. It may go wrong. There's a high chance it'll go wrong. If you guys could just do me a favor and keep an eye out just in case something bad happens. If anything really bad happens, Rhea, you're in charge. I have full faith in you. You've got this covered.
Obviously. Jordan speaks up and they say, wait, shouldn't we vote? I mean, what if it's not unanimous? And Zuri just flicks the back of their head and growls slightly. Right, yeah, of course. Rhea's in charge.
You'll figure it out. You always do.
You see Jordan's eyes get a little more serious and also a little more amber. And they say, do you want me to get the pack ready?
I don't want any of your people getting too close with this many unknowns at play, but the usual guidelines still apply. If you see someone who needs help them.
I also realize I don't actually know where I'm going to end up yet, so I'll try to get you some idea of where I am once I'm there.
Don't worry about it, dude. I can figure out where you are in the city. Everything's in range with a nose like mine. And they tap the side of their nose and flash a fanged grin, and Zuri gives them a more playful punch in the arm. Yeah, watch it.
Oh, crud. And he's going to quickly send a text to Anya saying, got some stuff I have to do. Sorry I didn't message you earlier. We'll try to get back to you as soon as I can.
You get a text back after a few minutes that says, I figured you got busy. It's pretty packed down here at the Rookery anyway. Let's reschedule for later.
Smiley face.
Aww.
She sends the eclipse emoji and the heart emoji.
Oh, that's cute.
Shade of my heart stuff again.
Okay. Rhea will pipe up and say, "Are you going to bring all your equipment this time?"
You know what? For this one, yes. Yes, I am.
And she will go with you to the, I guess, secret armory. Like, are we establishing that like there is still some secret whispered like?
Oh, absolutely.
Amazing. Well, you tell me where in the community center like leads to the whispered compound in the basement or whatever.
It's usual Batcave stuff. You go into the library, you move the right books, or you move the bust and you push the button. Spiral staircase opens up underneath.
Yeah, nice. You head down to this training area / I don't think you would have like monitoring, but there are like books and like, you know, a spell ingredients table. Like, honestly, there's probably some illegal spell components down here.
Oh, absolutely.
Just because the Whispered are not registered to cast spells, but you guys have them, so yeah. And then she will like go over to mannequins that have various armament and armor on them.
And let's pick out... We're going to take the red ones, just because.
It's becoming your color. And she will take one off, hand it over to you. Now, we had talked about Hugo's stuff expanding when he needs it. So what is the like base item that she gives you that will then become your whispered kit when you need it most?
What is the term for that thing? It's essentially, it's those necklaces that are torque. It's a torque. That's what it is.
Where it's like goes around, but it's not quite closed in the front.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Those are cool.
Hell yeah. Is there like an animal or like a shape? Like what is the look of it as a base item?
On the ends of it are what could best be described as representations of the type of dragon that Jay is, making up the heads for it.
Oh, yeah.
It is very much in line with Sovereign Wield stuff.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah, 2 little like dragon faces with like rubies in the eyes or like a ruby in their mouth. Cool.
He will turn to her though and say, so whatever stuff it is that you were talking with Lincoln about, well, be careful, please. We close at a certain time for a certain reason. You shouldn't really have people around with you after we've closed.
She nods, taking in your meaning, and she says, I understand, but it's that exact sort of agency meddling which is the reason I sometimes invite people here when we are closed.
Do me a favor and at least have a better alibi next time.
I will be adjusting the schedule.
Have fun. Not too much fun.
You too? We see she shifts a bracelet on her wrists to better hide a bruise indicative of sparring. And we watch you turn to leave this secret whispered haven. Your figure in silhouette fills the camera's lens until it is entirely black. And when the view resolves again, we are instead pulling away from a shot of Whitaker's dark suit, walking down a hallway of the agency. And we see you stopping in the doorway of Olivia Eastie's director's office on the top floor.
He does a begrudgingly polite knock on the door before stepping in.
She turns to face you because it's such classic Bond villain behavior. But she appears to have been just staring out the window at the Eastie campus and the woods beyond. She doesn't change her usual aloof expression, but she greets you. Whitaker, what can I do for you?
Director Eastie, I'm taking the Rogue Squad to finish the Artificer job tonight. We'll have the location of the hideout within the hour. I'm having the block evacuated and protection spells set up in case there's a blast. And I'd like the Ramos twins along the perimeter in case there's something worse.
I can reassign them. I'm happy to see you taking such initiative. The agency can't allow a direct attack on our offices to stand unanswered.
Understood.
How did you identify the location?
Tracking some of the folks who are at the original scene.
Excellent. Well, be sure to bring them all in. We can't have any of these people wandering around after they've proven themselves this dangerous.
I was thinking that bringing back the Philosopher's Stone might be of a higher priority, if you don't mind my saying.
Certainly recovering the Artificer Guild's property should be a high priority, but we can't risk the mind who orchestrated the initial robbery and the attack on Holden getting away, nor any of her accomplices.
Of course.
Do you have the forms? I can sign off on the evacuation order.
Oh, I already had them sent along. Needed quick work and all that. Wasn't sure if you'd be up during the day.
Oh, there it is.
Whoa!
She tucks a stray hair behind an ear and she says, I will admit my sleep schedule has been affected since operations have expanded. But in the future, I'd prefer to at least be notified before you get my secretary to forge a signature. A text, maybe? Was there anything else?
Whitaker looks a little miffed. Employee reviews are coming up. Do tell Agent Darkheather to keep her personal biases out of professional work.
Olivia will raise an eyebrow and then turn back, so she's not even facing you when she delivers this line, but she says, Everyone's reviews are coming up, Whitaker. I hope I don't have to tell you the same thing.
Ooh.
Whitaker turns on his heel and leaves.
With his tail between his legs.
Yeah!
The juice! The sauce!
So many shots fired.
Wow.
Okay. Unless Raven or Damien really wanted to play out the conversations. Okay.
Nope.
I was like, we don't have to have departmental role play.
Nope.
There's
We
always so
already-
much bureaucratic agency stuff that is fun to play out in real time.
We already talked about what we wanted from those conversations. It's just going to be filling out some forms and talking to some people and being like, this location, this time, thank you.
Mm-hmm. It just happens.
Done.
There is sort of the you need to ask permission for liability reasons, but there's not no one at the agency is trying to hold back their fellow workers from protecting people. So
Yeah, I'm sure you have to explain why, which totally makes sense.
yeah, it's here's our reasons, here's our suspicions, here's the threat level we're anticipating. We need XYZ. And they're like, okay, cool. Stamp, stamp, stamp.
Yeah, it's just, let me re-explain for the 5th time what we're doing to another NPC so we can skip it.
Yes. We will return to the workshop where we see Val being led by Ops into where Victoria is working. And you can see as you come in, still the crackling power surging throughout the different devices and machines in this place. But now the housing that was holding the Philosopher's Stone is not on display anywhere. But there is now this metallic humanoid being fit with exterior plating and various details. And Val, you realize that it looks remarkably like Victoria.
Oh god. She walks in. She's kind of internally steeling herself for whatever this interaction is going to be. Walks in, sees bonus Victoria. I think she feels a little queasy at the sight of it, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And she starts opening the food bag, and she has the little food ordered to go. It's just some bagels or some pastries or something that are just wrapped up, and my brain went to bagels because it's they're toasted and they get a schmear on them of whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
Puts one out, and there's also bottled drinks in there. It's orange juice or some shit. It's nothing fancy, but it's something.
Mm-hmm. She sees you come in and walks over and says, "Thank you. I have been feeling a little tired. I think my blood sugar's low."
She just finds a little perch for herself to lean against one of the many work tables in here that's clean, that doesn't have delicate looking or important papers sort of hanging off the side. If she does, she just kind of lightly shoves them out of the way, takes her bagel out, takes out her juice and just kind of sticks it on the table, crumples up the paper bag in her hand, and just, there's probably waste bins under there, so she just tosses the paper bag with the tracker now stuck to it into the waste bin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering why you were spending so much time describing this. I was like,
Yeah.
what's going on here?
Now, I was thinking about it.
Okay. There is a little something in the back of her head, a light up Ethernet wire that is wrapped around her arm, almost like an IV, and then sort of dangling out her sleeve and sort of dragging over across the floor, and is plugged into some kind of computer or whatever with a lot of code that's just running across the screen right now.
Is this a common occurrence for her, or is that new?
No, that's new.
All right, cool. She just kind of eyes her up and down and just asks, "Trying a new look?"
Adding to my productivity.
Okay. And she just like takes a bite out of a bagel, just kind of like sits there for a moment and stares at Victoria 2.0. She tries to keep her cool and she just lets out a little low whistle and just goes, "What the fuck is this?"
She sees you looking at it and she says, "If you don't like it, we can still do date night and she can keep working here in the lab."
Ooh, interesting.
Well, I think you owe me a couple of dates after the last 48 hours.
She can't frown, but her shoulders droop just the slightest, and she says, "That's fair. You're still mad, aren't you?"
Where's Bennett? Haven't seen him around in a bit.
I haven't checked in with everyone after the job. That's Op's assignment.
Is Op still in the room?
She is sort of in the doorway, waiting to be dismissed.
She kind of looks over at Ops. It kind of just gives her like an expression of, well.
Op says, "We lost Bennett during the breakout mission." Victoria kind of nods. "Well, that's a shame. They had potential."
She just kind of like sucks in a breath and sighs and like lets herself look disappointed. Actually lets herself show some of her emotion, but it's sort of a misappropriation of her feelings, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the disappointment to hear that he's dead. It's the disappointment to hear that she's lying through her fucking teeth again. It's disappointment that everything she thought she knew was wrong. It's almost sort of like the grave understanding that this is all gonna be over soon.
Mm-hmm. Victoria can see that you're upset, and she misreads it and comes over and she says, "We have a dangerous line of work, and you lose people. But everything I'm doing now is to make sure that doesn't happen much anymore." Gestures at the copy of herself she's making. "When we have more of her, we won't need to send people out on the more dangerous assignments. We can be safe and not have to worry so much." She will, in an attempt at showing affection, go to put her hand on the side of your head and like brush your cheek.
It takes everything in her power not to flinch.
Why don't you act under pressure?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look like you rolled well, Mel.
Double ones with a +1.
Amazing.
Mel, what the fuck?
My dice have chosen violence like I did when I decided to start asking about Bennett. They said commit to the bit, bitch. Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Why don't you describe the reaction that you actually have instead of not flinching?
Oh, fuck. All right, hang on. I gotta sit crisscross if I'm gonna do this. Buckle up, kids. Oh, fuck, this is gonna suck. I think this is gonna turn into one of their telltale arguments. She goes to touch her face and she very pointedly like turns her head so that she can't.
She won't push it, but her hand kind of drops to her side. And then she like gives an almost like exasperated sigh. And she says, "Stay mad as long as you want, but I'm trying to do what's best for us. I'm sorry it's not enough. I guess I'll get back to work." And she will go back over to like fiddle with something on her desk.
Oh, she manipulative.
How long do I want to extend this argument?
Doesn't have to be long, but I mean, make it nasty. Let's get into it.
Yeah, I know. I was like, how nasty do I want to get here?
Yeah, let's go. I'm ready.
Is it what's best for us or what's best for you? Because what I see you doing is making yourself a shiny new body while the rest of us break our fucking backs for you.
Get her.
The air in the room changes. And I think the only indication of a reaction from her at first is the sound of some servos moving on her back. And maybe a little like adjustment of some metal pieces under her coat. Yeah.
Continue.
She says, "Well, I've only had 24 hours. And she turns around Is the upgrade schedule not to your liking?
She just rolls her eyes so heavily.
She'll get up and go over to like the clone of herself and like hit a panel and detaches the hand and like holds it out. Here, I can print another one in a couple hours.
She swats it out of her hand.
Ting, 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 ting.
Oh my god!
Real mature.
You know as fucking well as I do that it's not about the upgrades and the fancy gadgets. It's about the people. We're people, Victoria. But you treat us like toys. We might be different than we were before, but we're still fucking people. You're still a fucking person. What even happened to Bennett, Victoria? How did we lose him?
Oh, man.
Girl, say it. Say it.
She gives a look over your shoulder at Ops, who gives a little subtle nod, and then she makes eye contact with you again, and she says, Bennett left evidence behind at the break-in scene, so when I needed to get you out, I thought I'd take care of two problems at once.
She is honest.
You're right. I am still human. And at that point, and her 4 mechanical arms display and do a similar like, this is me gesture. She turns, she gestures at the version of her that is still like up on this platform. But maybe not for long. And she will snap her fingers, and the hand that you knocked across the room flips over and walks itself back over towards the homunculus on display.
Awful. What in the Addams family? Ugh.
Crawls up the leg, crawls down the arm, and then attaches itself and then goes limp again.
Shit.
And she says, slightly softer, removing some of the venom, I was planning to build you one next.
I think she just stares at the construct, her upgraded form, whatever you want to call it. She doesn't look at her anymore. At Salem Prime, I guess we'll put it.
Mm-hmm.
She just stares at the new form, turns and walks away. She does not want to be in the workshop right now. She is at a boiling point. She needs to get out of there before she says something that she shouldn't.
I think... Oh, man.
To clarify, she will still be in the warehouse. She just needs to get the fuck out of this room.
No, I know. But Ops is in the doorway. And she doesn't move. And Victoria calls after you and she says, How did you know what happened to Bennett, Valentine?
Fuck. I didn't. You just confirmed everything for me.
Did I?
Oh, no.
And Ops raises her hand to a button on the side of her visor, and projected as a hologram is a like waveform.
And we just want to know more about how to stop this from happening again.
Who died?
Did you know this person?
That's... Bennett. He was new. I brought him in.
Uh-oh.
Oh. I need floor time. I need a second. I'll be right back. Oh my god.
I need floor time.
I'm just gonna lay here for a minute. It's fine. Okay. Go on.
Ops presses the button again. The recording projection goes away. And Victoria starts saying, I may have been keeping some secrets, but isn't that just the way we are? And then she unplugs the device on the back of her head. And when it hits the ground, the eyes on the copy of her open.
Oh my fucking Christ on a bike.
Let's take a pee break.
No! Natalie, no! So mean! Oh, no, I'm terrified!
Good lord.
The one time you voluntarily give us a pee break and it's for a cliffhanger. How dare you?
I'm gonna piss my pants. With all of my affection. Fuck you.
Choices were made. Things happened. Here we go.
pointed a finger pistol at us when you told us to go take a pee break. Jeez.
This iced coffee went from like here to here in the course of the last like 5 minutes.
So exciting!
Oh God, she's gonna die. Bye, everybody.
Alright, be right back.
Oh my God. I'm just gonna be here. I'm just gonna stay here and contemplate my choices.
My name is Johnny, and I'm the host, executive producer, and prince of lies for the Monsters Playbook. What's the Monsters Playbook? It's an actual play Monster of the Week podcast set in my hometown of Minneapolis, Minnesota, where no monster can hurt you as badly as you can hurt yourself. It's a character-focused adventure where you'll meet Kira Ashwood, a journalist with a cult past she's desperate to atone for, and a secret power hidden even from herself. Casey Davis, a taciturn secret agent becoming disillusioned with the agency she thought she could trust. Theo Nessos, a professional sorceress trying to escape the shadow of her powerful magical family. And Mark Clayton, a pretty haunted introvert who just wants to make sense of his powers and all the weird things that keep happening to him. This is a show where danger could just as easily come from an otherworldly threat as from the fragile emotions that anchor our characters and bind them together. If you like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, The Dresden Files, or any city-set supernatural story with monstrous threats and messy feelings, check out The Monsters Playbook. New episodes every other Tuesday, wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, adventurers! Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Storyteller Squad. Hang tight while we get through these announcements and we'll have you back to the episode in no time. First up, if you like our show, consider following us on our socials. It's the best way to keep up with episode announcements and help spread the word about the show to your friends. We are at Story Squadcast on most platforms. You can find us mostly posting on TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky, and Threads, but you can check us out on the major platforms as well. You can also join our Discord server to connect with cast and other fans of the show. The link is in the show notes. If you want to show us a little extra love, consider leaving us a rating or review on your preferred podcast platform. It's another way to give us a boost in the algorithm and get our show seen by potential new listeners. And if you want to support the show monetarily, subscribe to our Patreon. You'll get access to an exclusive section of our Discord and get to see bonus and behind-the-scenes content like our PAX East booth prep. You can find our page at patreon.com/thestorytellersquad. If you've been watching our socials or been listening to the last few episode announcements, you would know the entire squad is going to PAX East. Come find us at booth TT66 or catch us at a few of the various panels that we're hosting. That's everything for now. Now let's get you back into the episode.
Hi, Meow.
Hi. Jesus.
How we doing? You okay?
I'm great. This is fine. This is oh, I'm shaking.
The thing about playing evil geniuses.
God. I am simultaneously a ball of electricity and a ball of jelly right now. And I don't know how those two things mix, but that's where I'm at right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what the hilarious thing is?
What's that?
You literally had said that Ops sees everything.
Fuck! I set myself up.
Yep.
Oh! Oh no. Oh, she's got mics in the fucking augments. That's what it is.
Probably.
This bitch. Val may take a hammer to her hand after she's done today. Wow.
Honestly, Val, I'm surprised there wasn't a tracker already in there. This girl's such a control freak.
You know, that's incredibly fair.
There might be. Who knows?
There might be.
There might be.
She seems like the jealous type.
Less the jealous type, more the
possessive type?
Property type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to go down to my living room and just lay on the floor after this session. And my husband's going to be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm going to be like, so many things, babe. So many things.
Natalie stabbed me into feelings.
My imaginary girlfriend broke up with me.
I broke up with my imaginary girlfriend.
Yeah.
Take some of the power back.
Fuck.
Ooh,
We good?
so good.
Are we good?
I guess.
To keep recording. I don't know emotionally if y'all are good.
Emotionally, through the fucking floor. I'm in hell. But I'm good to keep recording.
Amazing.
Fuck.
Physically, yes, good to go.
I think we will transition away to the side of an Eastie Agency ward division van pulling up in the neighborhood where the warehouse is. We see several agents come out, fairly simple suit attire, but they begin inscribing runes in chalk on the sidewalk. And when the runes light up, they raise these magic discs of arcane energy, which they then sort of manipulate and place forward, and they begin to expand. And, at different points around this neighborhood, these large discs of arcane protection begin to form and sort of enclose this area to try and prevent worse collateral than may be coming. And we see Rogue Team. Where would you guys like to be? Are you having a meeting a little ways away first? Are you pulling up and getting ready to infiltrate? What's your attack plan here? And has Hugo joined you yet, I guess, is the question too.
I'd like to be sitting inside of a crane that has a wrecking ball at the end, swinging that into the building, but apparently things are getting vetoed here, so...
That's Damien's little thought bubble as we drive up.
Right.
That one is also not agency requisition material.
Yeah.
A day. Is Hugo here, or do I have to call him to summon him?
It's one of those creepy things of he's actually right behind you already.
Jesus Christ, I hate when you do that.
Yeah, it's super easy when I text him where we are.
Yep.
It's I feel the crackle of electricity, and it's oh!
Yeah, that little in the air of the snipe speed.
Ooh.
Does anyone else smell ozone?
Yeah, it's been here the whole time.
You got the map, Raven?
I imagine at this point we've pulled up a real map.
Yeah, you transcribed it or have a satellite image.
Yeah. Satellite image. We've got it all figured out. We've marked all the exits. We know where all the wards are. I imagine we can communicate with the ward teams in case we think something's going really wrong to maybe have them shift if needed.
It's just a channel shift on your earpieces.
Yeah, I think we just need a general plan and kind of to go over our objectives. I feel like there's multiple things we're trying to do here.
Yeah, let's start with objectives. Philosopher's Stone. Find it. Get it back. That thing's way too powerful and will cause many more deaths if we don't get it now.
Victoria Salem in custody.
Yes.
I would also put on the list of objectives, look for Val. Get her out as well. And if we could make this subdue and detain and make it as clean as possible.
Yes. Raven, you did not promise Val any sort of political immunity from this, did you? She does know we will have to bring her in, right?
I don't think that ever came up, did it?
It never did.
She didn't even ask.
You will try. We'll see what happens from there.
I agree it's not a priority, but...
My priority is to get her out safely in exchange for the information that she gave us. Whatever happens after that, we will get to it. But I made no promises. This is just me personally. She deserves to be leaving this building safely.
I think we can work under the assumption that all of them have had some sort of manipulation worked into this system to make them not complacent or innocent, but yes, she gets safety, but they all do in some regard. I also want to be aware of the fact that we did call several blocks of evacuation, even if Val hasn't told Victoria that we're coming, and that's very doubtful in my opinion. There are signs that something's on the way if your whole street is suddenly missing of people and there are wards going up in the sky, so we need to act as though they know we're coming.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't do that on purpose? I thought you wanted them to know we were coming.
I'm saying that initially the conversation was we need to get in and out as soon as possible, and there was a vibe of secrecy, and I want to establish that I know that is now not the case.
Oh.
But I like this. It's intentional, Hugo. It is intentional.
I misunderstood entirely.
I'd like to think that the wards are going up after this conversation.
Sure. Timing-wise.
And the evacuations, like you said, the evacuations are happening very quietly.
The evacuation was intentionally meant to be subtle. Now, whether Victoria's people are paranoid enough that they would start to notice that many people leaving over the course of the afternoon,
depends on how busy the street block is, I suppose, or how populated.
Yeah, I would have imagined she chose a very quiet neighborhood so as not to draw attention to herself.
Yeah, but at the very least, the idea is subtlety. And so if we act quickly enough, we might have some surprise.
Yeah, I would say evacuation is subtle. The wards...
Yeah, I think wards are last step before we are walking in.
Mm-hmm.
And then just for my own knowledge, if we had to rank the objectives, what do you think is more important? Getting our hands on the Philosopher's Stone or getting our hands on Salem?
The stone.
The stone.
Okay.
With it, she does exponentially more harm than she has done. That's her job, reducing harm. All right, we've got a bunch of different entrances to look at. Hugo, you're fast, and they don't know you like they know us. Is it possible you could at least scope out what might be the least guarded entrance for us before we move in? She pointed to this one, right, Raven, as a good entrance on the way in?
Mm-hmm.
See, I can try, but it's a warehouse. The entrances are entrances. Scoped out or not, everything we want to see, we can probably just see from the sky.
I was going to ask, is there any way we could have gotten our hands on a little drone to peek in the skylight?
Well, Damien has used drones before, so it's possible that that's something he's contributing.
Yeah. Val specifically said there was only one skylight, so that's why I was thinking if we could just send a little drone up there to peek in. Can we see through it? Can we see anything? Can we get any kind of information? Yes or no? And then if no, forget it.
That sounds like a great idea, actually.
But if we can get an idea of any more information about what the inside of the building looks like, how many people are around, which people, anything would be helpful. And drones are very subtle.
Yeah, I want to clarify one thing. Val had mentioned there's only one entrance to the workshop. That means the room where the building takes place. The whole warehouse has multiple entrances and exits.
Oh, yeah.
It's just that part is very lock and key, very,
Salem's lab has one entrance, but I think in the conversation, Val had pointed out a specific entrance that might be better for us to use. I don't know how specific it was, but
she didn't necessarily give you a better entrance. She was just these are the entry points of the warehouse. There's the second floor windows, there's the one singular skylight on the roof, and then there's the main entrance to the warehouse itself.
You can assume there's 4 doors to this building that all just open up to the main hangar area.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
They probably have some systems in place to keep an eye on things up above, or keep an eye on things by the windows or by the doors. And I like making our own entrances. I would like to see if Raven has any digging friends so we can tunnel in underneath.
Not where I expected that train of dialogue to go, Damien. You're thinking under the box.
Not at all where I thought you were going with that, and I am here for it.
You guys go under the box. I will check the other boxes around the box to make sure we don't have any other surprises.
I wouldn't mind an explosion in a non-populated area as a distraction. Damien, if you want to handle explosive diversion.
You had me at explosion.
Are we still trying to set off the EMP?
It strikes me as something to do once we're being overwhelmed as opposed to a starting maneuver, but I could be convinced otherwise.
If we do set it off beforehand, it could take out their security cameras.
Oh, that's right.
You remember what happened the last time we didn't take out the security cameras?
Yeah, taking out security cameras would at least prevent them from seeing how we are getting in until we are in. So yes, I agree. Security cameras first. Do we still need a spirit to dig us in?
I don't think it's a bad idea to come at it from different angles. I mean, I can come in the skylight.
Aiden, I can trust you to be alone in that one?
Yeah.
All right, good.
I've got a spirit that can get us in. It's the prairie dog.
That's so good.
I feel like out of all of these, that's the most digging one. There's others that kind of do, but prairie dogs have whole tunnel systems, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
How do we feel about attacking this similarly to the first time we did this, and I know that didn't end well, where Damien and I tend to handle the lower level goons, and Aiden and Raven, you're a bit more on targeted search and extract, and we can close in if need be.
That sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
Now we have Hugo, so Hugo can get wherever he wants to be immediately.
I was going to say, Hugo's here to make sure things go successfully this time.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? What happened last time?
Last time they stole the Philosopher.
I know every time I say it, I feel like I stumble over it too.
Yeah, it's a big word. Sorry. As keeper, I feel I would be remiss if I didn't ask you, how are you covering for the fact that Hugo is helping with this agency operation? Is this a secret meeting you are having outside of the eyes and ears of your other agents?
That was my initial assumption,
Yeah.
as is most of our communications with Hugo.
Sure, I'm just putting it out there that, like, you are not having this conversation in front of, like, the evac team or any, or, like, this is like, okay, we're on the scene. Excuse us for a moment. And you go behind a building and talk to Hugo.
Just hiding behind a tree.
Right. Yeah, Hugo, are you concealing your identity in any way?
He is fully in that same regalia that he was in the dream stuff.
Yeah.
Hell yes.
Face covered, various bits of metal in various places.
Yeah. The torque activates and it just, your undercover vigilante look is upon you.
Hugo, that looks so cool. Jinx, Raven.
I'm just picturing it also doing like popping up into a face covering and like a hood and then the whole outfit. Like that must be so cool to watch.
It's such a cool idea.
I think Hugo will probably just be approaching this whole map from a completely different angle than us.
Yeah, I feel like once we finish this conversation, Hugo is then going to go in his own way and just show up and help us. And then we're just not going to acknowledge it.
Yep.
Another good reason to take those cameras out. I do think there will be, like, maybe we can send up a little, like, discreet signal or, like, a something when the cameras are out. Like, all right, Hugo, you're good.
It could just be Aiden landing on the roof, smashing the EMP, and then, like, a bright gold flash, and that's your signal that, like, taken care of.
It's go time.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So I had a thing in my head that I don't know if it placed, but I just really like the idea of part of the distraction is Damien walking in as a pizza delivery man with like 6 boxes of pizza right up to the front door.
Hell yeah, my guy.
Yes, please.
Yeah,
Yes,
baby.
and
I want it. Feed it to me.
Yes, the pizza is the bomb. It's a magical pizza bomb.
No.
It's
just
actual
actual
pizza.
What?
It's actual pizza. It's an actual order, and Optics has been staring at this guy approach and has been doing x-rays and everything.
Oh yeah, it's all legit.
What is his deal?
Surely this is a plant. No, there's no metal, there's no weapon.
It's all pizza.
Really just bringing a stack of pizzas. We didn't order that
Who ordered these?
because we're not going to get the door open otherwise.
Sure.
And I feel like that'll help distract them while everyone else is digging underground, landing on the roof.
That's amazing.
So we're going to start this scene, and we see Damien in a pizza delivery costume carrying this food over to the front door. Like it's just knocking on the side of the building.
Yeah, because it's not a person's house,
Yeah.
so I feel like there's not a doorbell.
You know what the most delivery man thing would be to do is just sort of stand outside the building and be on your phone, like looking around like you don't know where to bring it to.
Oh my god.
Yes. And he's got like his headphones in, listening to music.
Like
and
looks up at the building, nods, like, yeah, this has to be the place.
Yeah. Okay. I will say that Anton comes out and walks over to you again, built like a linebacker, but then like clearly like the artifice legs too. And he says, "Buddy, you shouldn't be hanging around here."
Hi, Smiley's Pizza. We got a delivery for 123 Warehouse Street, and this is for you. So if you just want to take these boxes for me.
He will look you up and down and then like touch his ear with his little earpiece. And he says, "Ups, did anyone order food?" And there's a pause. "Well, can't you ask everyone over the intercoms?" "I don't know. You have a lot of stuff that nobody else can do." "Why does it matter what toppings are on the pizza?" "I don't know, 3 of them?" I've destroyed Darts.
You yes-anded him so hard.
Better than I could have hoped for. This is incredible. Yeah, there's a cheese, a pepperoni, and a meat lovers.
"Well, should I take the food or not?" "Okay. How much is it?"
Oh, no, it's already paid for. I was just dropping it off. You guys are good to go.
"Cool." He will reach for the bag and be like, "Now scram, get out of here."
So depending on how he does this is going to depend on the choreography. If it's sort of like a take stuff and like, you know, go to head to the door while the door's nice and open, then Damien's probably going to fuck around and, you know, try to sneak his way in. But I'm imagining that this is the perfect time to, while the guy's grabbing the bag, Damien dumps the soda on him with his free hand and then begins grabbing a pizza out with his other hand to throw it on his face.
Okay.
I'm gonna float a line back to you, Damien.
Please do.
He says, "How much is it?" You say, "Sorry, bud. Cost an arm and a leg." Boom!
Oh, that's so funny.
What are you activating here?
Are you telling me to roll something?
Is that all you were doing is throwing the food on him?
Yes.
Then you don't have to roll for that.
Okay.
I trust you're able to do that.
It's not advanced karate techniques.
While this distraction is happening, we pan up and see a gold flash on the roof of the warehouse. Aiden lands holding this EMP device, flips whatever switch or lever she needs to on it, and it sends out this pulse, and we watch from like the view of the security camera her appearing, pressing the button, and all the screens going dark, and the camera's powering down across this warehouse compound.
Actually, if Anton had a weapon, I do want to steal that weapon.
He does not have a like weapon separate from his enhanced legs.
Okay, cool.
I think as soon as the EMP goes off, we cut to Ops, who is still with Val and Victoria. She pipes up and says, "We've got trouble." Victoria Prime turns and begins adjusting a bunch of things with her many mechanical arms within the workshop and starts typing something into one of her keyboards, and the screens are, you know, flashing more code and stuff. And she says,
Tell anyone who's out to stay away. Anyone who's here, get them on it.
Ops nods and says, "Right away," turns around and will leave. Val, what's your reaction to this?
Well, firstly, I'm a little surprised that she just left me standing there. She's typing away on her computer.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the computer tower, out of curiosity?
Just under the table where she's typing. You wouldn't know this because you didn't see the security tape where an EMP was thrown off, but all the technology in the workshop is still functioning.
She's still got her open juice in her hand. Ops has left her. Victoria's not paying attention to her right now. As quickly as she can, she wants to get over there and dump the juice on the computer to try to short circuit it.
Okay.
Girl, you are on our side. I love when a turncoat is on our side.
I don't know if you want me to roll for that.
I want you to read a bad situation.
Okay. I'm gonna try some different dice. Please be nice to me. I've been rolling so poorly. I know you're trying to help me level up, but I can wait to level up, so please roll nicely. Okay. What was it? Read a bad situation?
Mm-hmm.
8.
Okay. Ask your question.
Okay. Let's see. Dangers we haven't noticed?
You start walking towards the computer with your juice.
Uh-huh.
Victoria's got her back to you. You go to splash the cup.
Bottle, but yes.
You go to empty the bottle onto the computer, and your hand will not turn itself to tip the liquid.
Oh, shit!
And you then look past Victoria, who is typing, and you see the construct of her stepping off the platform with her hand raised towards you.
Oh, bitch.
Fuck.
Shut up.
And it flicks its wrist, and yours tosses the bottle against a far wall in the workshop, and it splatters to the ground.
What?
Might be smashing your hand sooner than you thought.
Oh my god.
My friend, you've just been Evil Dead.
And without even turning to look at you, because she is busy typing, not Victoria Prime, but the construct of her walks over to you, and in her voice just says,
I hope we can work things out, but I really don't have time for this shit right now, Valentine.
and she will pick you up by the collar and like lifts you into the air and begins to like walk over to some corner of the room where she's maybe going to try and like stuff you in a locker or something.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Wow. Wow, wow, wee, wow.
Yeah. Victoria doesn't need to pay attention to you with her prime body anymore.
She didn't pay much attention to me to begin with, but okay.
Now you've made it hurt.
I had to. You made it hurt first.
I know.
Oh, God. I'm going to cry after this episode. I just feel it in my bones.
No.
Oh, it's going to be a good cry, though. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God.
But yeah, so you're being manhandled by this giant, or not giant. It's literally just the same size as her.
Yeah,
but I will say that, like, in order to lift you off the ground, the ankles of the construct kind of extend, so she becomes a little bit taller.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think she starts like struggling and fighting back as much as she can.
One arm, the one that's grabbing you, will also telescope out so that you are like not within range to like kick or strike at the main body of this thing.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
This is so fucking awful.
Your girlfriend made herself a Terminator. I'm sorry.
Oh, God. Oh, fuck me. She says, I hope we can work things out. And she's struggling and kicking back against the fucking 2.0 version.
Mm-hmm.
And all she spits back is, I hope you get everything you fucking deserve.
We see the construct just slam you into the wall and hold you there while Victoria continues to work away at different devices within the workshop. We cut now to Raven. Where are you right now?
Underneath the building, digging.
Whitaker is behind her, muttering, I really don't like dirt.
Yes.
And yet you chose to follow. Yeah, she used the prairie dog spirit card, got some little like diggy claw hands, and maybe a little bit of like dark vision kind of.
I like the idea that it is sort of a like almost like I don't want to say cartoon, but like a little like, you know, prairie dog like
cartoony
mask with like the lenses or something. And I will also say, just because it would be fun, that like the prairie dog spirit is also there with you.
Yeah.
And they've got like a carved wooden like hard hat on with like a bioluminescent like light on the front, and they're just also there digging with you to get through.
Maybe they go first and dig like a little hole, and then I follow them and make it big enough for me and Whitaker. Yeah,
they start, and you're able to like, you know, you're moving the dirt in big swaths.
Yeah.
Bigger than your actual hand would be able to, but it just like allows you to sort of like plow through and make a tunnel in this area.
And it's just like comically kicking it back out of the hole when you watch.
And we hear the prairie dog spirit say, well, yeah, good thing you got permission from the foreman. Codes and you know, the root councils normally really strict about where they allow you to make such large modifications. So they're just digging with you. And
that's why they're going first, to avoid the roots and stuff so we don't get in trouble with the Fae, because that's the last thing we want.
Yeah. So Whitaker, you're seeing that like, you figured like straight line. No, it's a big windy up and down and you know, like a prairie dog system would be. So like you're not just strolling, you're also having to like crawl through this tunnel and like
just like flashlight in your mouth.
Getting fucking filthy, yeah.
It's fucking dark in here. There's roots and shit. That is worms. That's nothing but worms.
Carrying a sword through this tunnel.
He's using the sword to like light the way.
Yeah, that's your light source. It's like a light stick.
Oh my god.
Anyway, prairie dog eventually reaches concrete and is like, oh, okay, well, that's an impasse right there. Are you sure this is the route we gotta go?
Positive.
You're gonna want demolitions in for that. Sorry. Only focus on dirt. They like grab their fur like it's their little safety vest.
Oh
like,
God. I love them. Who can I call in for demolition?
You got like a bowl card or something?
Can sword cut concrete?
Whitaker, do you want to just cut through the fucking concrete floor?
Oh, yeah.
Does the sword do that?
All right, stand back.
A couple of moments of awkward shuffling as we switch places.
Keep looking through that card deck just in case, but watch me work.
I will say, I'm not going to make you roll for the prairie dog thing. That's like premeditated, easy enough to do. But Whitaker, why don't you use no limits?
Ooh. Yeah, look at that. No limits is weird. That's right. That's the only weird thing I get to do. Or not the only, well,
It's your second new weird move.
Yes. That's so funny. It's a failure.
Oh no.
Let me mark a little bit of experience. Yeah, Whitaker takes the sword and just like sort of looks down at it like, oh, don't fail me now, and jams it upward, and like the vibration wrenches through his hands, and he's like, it's like hit his funny bone, but everywhere.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I can't cut concrete, can't do concrete, that's fine. Raven, it's all you, And I don't know, whatever else keeper moves you want to do there.
What does it say when you fail No Limits?
Something goes horribly wrong. Please don't break the sword. Please don't break the sword.
The sword wasn't harmed by being struck by lightning. Sticking into a rock is not going to break it. You shove the sword in to try and get it, and now it's kind of stuck for a minute. And the little gopher spirit just says, yeesh, I don't think that's regulation. And then they fade away.
I love them.
And as Arthurian legend dictates, you will never get that sword out.
Not worthy.
Now, Raven, I will ask you to have to use magic with a card summon to try and break yourself into this warehouse through the concrete.
That is fair. That's an 8.
Okay, then it's going to be random. It is dark in this tunnel.
Yep. It sure is. That's a 1 on the D4. And a 9.
Oh boy. Okay.
Oh geez. Well,
not the worst result.
Not the worst.
You want to remind everyone what the 9 of the fire suit is?
Those are the fire ant spirit.
Oh!
Back again.
Oh!
I'll take ants. Seems an appropriate spot.
They are the card of strength.
Yes, they are.
They strong as book.
Oh, ant together strong.
Here's the thing that goes wrong, Whitaker. It's in the dark, your sword is stuck, you're trying to pull it around, and then you start to hear like, oh, is Bugs gonna freak anybody out?
No.
Okay. You just start to hear the sounds of like many little ants in this tunnel.
But they're marching.
Can I add to that to make it less creepy?
Sure.
They're chanting as they march.
Oh my god.
So you're hearing them.
Yeah.
Hop, 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 hop.
They're doing a little left, right, left, except it's a lot of that.
Yeah!
The ants go marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching one by one. If there's a job, we'll get it done. So we all go marching down in the ground, 'cause it is where we live. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little commander ant appears on your shoulder, and the legions of fire ants answer your call as they all like appear, and these little embers start to fill up and light the space. And they look at the concrete, look at where you are, and they say, "Oh, demolition job?
Yes, please. You're just in time.
Might want to back up, sir."
Can you like have easy with the sword? Don't let just the concrete.
You just see a fist of fire ants forming and glowing with a like warm charge in the like forearm of it that's like rearing back.
Whoa!
Oh, Whitaker takes several steps back.
Yep. You just hear, "Forward division, charges set, clear." And the fire ants punch through the concrete, blowing your entrance into the warehouse. The thing that has gone wrong, Whitaker, is that you don't know where your sword went.
Oh no.
Ooh.
It's somewhere in the debris that has been created, but you guys are broken in. Let's quickly check with Hugo to see where you're at. I will say, Hugo, whatever you're about to do, if you are relying on Raven and Whitaker to be at a certain place at a certain time, they're going to be late.
Oh, no. In this case, he's just very fortunate that Damien got that door open. Zoop.
Yes.
I love that. Okay, yeah. That's an act under pressure to use your snipe ability. Let's see how you do, and then you can describe what you're able to achieve by slipping in.
6 + 4 + 3. 13.
Woo! Yeah, you're good to be anywhere in this compound, really. What do you want to do?
We're going to start running around, finding people, and disabling... There's 2 paths. There's path 1, disabling stuff. Path 2, finding Val.
It's up to you.
What would Hugo do?
Ooh. An excellent question.
I will say Val is in the workshop. There are lots of gang members in like the immediate warehouse area when you walk in the door or run in the door. There's like a little like break area, you know, with like a couple old couches and like a fridge and shitty coffee table. Like some people are just sort of lounging around waiting for a job or, you know.
There's like a $5 thrift store rug.
Yeah.
It's really badly stained.
Yeah, it looks, you know, it's crummy. This is not a great place. What are you feeling?
If there's a bunch of them like in a breakish area, we're literally just going to stroll in, let them know that some shit's going down, you're probably not going to want to be here, and then proceed to signal them to walk out the door.
Interesting.
Hugo.
Extremely interesting.
Yeah, I love that. You zip in, you see these people, they're all kind of like look at you like, what the fuck, who are you?
Hey folks, not to alarm you, but some shit's about to hit the fan, and I believe it is in your best interest to not be here when it does.
And an announcement comes on over some PA system within the warehouse, and Ops' voice says,
There's an agency raid. Deal with anyone who comes in the building.
Oh.
And Hugo, you watch as, 10 people just activate all their powerful weaponized artifice and stare at you menacingly.
Don't say I didn't warn you.
Cue the fight music, let's go!
Yeah!
Let's see. Damian, outside, you and Tun, roll to kick some ass because he's coming for you. Unless you want to just run away, but if you're trying to fight this guy, then let's fight.
No, we're trying to get inside. We're working our way in.
Okay.
Kicking ass plus 3 is 8.
Okay. You guys will basically exchange harm. What are you using to inflict harm here?
Another slice of pizza? Unless there's some sort of easily improvisational blunt object tool casually lying around. We're using what remains of the food, so he's just grabbing the other pizzas and going, let's go!
Okay. I mean...
Natalie's like, this isn't going to do any harm.
Yeah, it's not.
But, like, getting hit with pizza isn't, like, great either.
You do no harm with the pizza. You just kind of continue to slap it at this guy.
Then instead of... Because I'm not going to beat this guy with pizza. Can I use this to get past him inside the warehouse? I guess that's sort of the objective.
That would be more act under pressure.
That's fine. I'll take some damage on the way.
Okay, let's see. You have an 8 here. I'm gonna roll something. It's an 8 on the die. That's an 11. Dang. Okay.
Is she gonna try to drop a weapon for me so I can do some actual harm?
Well, she's gonna try and just like help you get past him or like avoid getting some harm, but she is distracted because her girlfriend did not pop out when she was supposed to pop out, and so she's like not as on the ball watching you. But she's only adding +1. Yeah, Aiden's off her game, at least in this moment. So yeah, you slap more pizza in this guy's face, and like you go to pick up another slice to throw at him, and a huge foot just kind of like hits you in the chest and like steps down, and you are now under this guy's foot, and you see him like wiping the food off his face, looking pissed as hell at you, and he goes to lift his foot back to like slam down on you and try and crush your ribs, and there's a like gold flash above his head. Aiden does like a roundhouse kick, which throws him off enough that he kind of just steps down, and so you will only take the like 2 harm, reduced however from the initial kick with this magic artifice leg. And he kind of stumbles to the side. She lands and she says, we gotta get in there.
Yep, let's go. Can Damien, because I imagine Aiden's all suited up, and so I'd like to use that opportunity for Damien to grab some equipment off her, like a couple tasers or an extra piece of gear.
Oh, because Damien came in with nothing because he was the pizza guy.
Yeah, he doesn't have any of his equipment.
I was like, why isn't Durst bringing any of his stuff? Because he couldn't, because they would have seen it.
Yeah.
I'm caught up. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I get it now.
We can say that she like tosses you your bat and your brass knuckles, and like, do you want more high-tech equipment or do you want just that stuff?
Nah, keep it simple.
Okay. Yeah, she'll throw you a little like pack of your gear. which she was going to like drop into you if you had like gotten inside the building, but you didn't. And so she will now turn and just sort of run in the door, which is now open. Or even if it's not, she just like runs over, divine strength, crushes the handle and like kicks it open. So you two are in the building now. Hugo, what are you doing? There's like 10 gang members here. I'm not going to say that like Salem's full squad were just like hanging around and available. She's probably got people off like doing errands or like looking into things, but there's at least 10 gang members here.
Checking things.
Is there just one door in that room?
Which room?
The room Hugo's in?
Hugo's in like the big warehouse main area.
Oh, okay, cool.
You guys keep saying room. This is a big open warehouse, but there's not like sectioned rooms. The only separate area is the workshop at the back.
Oh no. I feel really bad about doing that. I feel really, really bad about doing that.
Do it anyway.
Don't feel bad. Do it anyway.
I was going to just freeze them all, but no. If they all have metal on them.
That's fine.
Is it though?
Are their pieces actual metal, or is it the like printed stuff that Salem has been doing?
Oh, good point. Is it metal?
Some of it. It's a bunch of different materials.
We're just going to start running around blasting people.
Okay.
What would you like me to do for this in this case?
If you are attacking, then it's kick some ass, and if it's with combat magic, you add weird.
It's attacking with combat magic.
Okay.
Boop, boop. 13. And kick some ass is advanced.
Hey!
Yo!
Woo.
Get him.
So what are you doing?
We're either driving the enemy away or suffering no harm at all. You know what? I'm going to deal with them here and now, suffer no pain, no harm, and just keep at it.
Oh, Hugo, I'm so happy.
Okay.
He's not suffering harm in a warehouse.
He has learned from last time.
We're not repeating history.
He may still have pain. There's just no harm.
You know what that is?
Growth.
Okay, yeah, I like that. It's very The Flash. You are zipping at super speed against a bunch of thugs who have modified weapons as limbs, but none of them are super speed fast. And so what kind of combat magic are you doing? And what's the harm total?
They are lightning blasts. It is 3 harm, messy, magic, close, obvious, loud.
Okay.
Goodness.
I just looked up the rules for minions, and like technically I can lump them all together as like the total of them. I think that's what I will do. So I will say that this is like squad of minions. There's 10 of them. They will have a tracker of 10 harm. So Hugo, in your like very quick first little burst, the first 3 people that run at you, it's a lot of like slow motion shots of you just like disabling an arm in a lock and then like hitting a couple points where it attaches and it just like breaking off and falling away, and then they get kicked into the ground. Another person, you just like fully skip past the artifice and do an uppercut. And the third one, you kind of like take their shirt, throw it up over their head, spin them around and like shove them against a wall. So in the matter of like a moment, one person, their artifice arm with a flamethrower in it just fully detaches and shuts down. The other person trips forward and lands on their face, and the other one like slams into a wall with a shelving unit and drops to the ground. And you're untouched.
For now.
The rest of these goons kind of see that for a moment and they're like, holy shit. One of them might even say, I didn't know the Eastie agents could do that.
Nice. Sorry, Hugo.
If they're associating with the Eastie agency, that's perfectly fine.
Great for Hugo, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's when we see Aiden and Damien run in the side door. You're probably like 50 feet away, like down the other end of the warehouse. Then also we will see the like ground or the bit of cement get a little bit of like molten look to it, and then it boom explodes, and the fire ant fist lifts Raven and Whitaker up.
Aww.
Sort of like you're on like the platform, and they just like lift you up so you can then step off of it.
Oh, it looks so cool.
Hell yeah.
What did you roll for that? You got an 8 on the original summon of that?
Yes.
I will say, because it was a mix, you're not going to get your like full ant construct.
Oh yeah, they did what they needed to do.
Once you and Whitaker step off, the hand then becomes sort of just a moving swarm of them, but they will swirl up and onto your shoulders and just sort of like coat your arms in like big fist hands. So you don't have like full construct form, but you have like giant bruiser gauntlets made of the fire ants.
She's trying to be okay with that. She's trying really, really hard to be okay with being so close to so many ants.
Again, they are not being ants. It feels like chainmail.
Yes, it's fine. They're being so normal about it.
So helpful and normal.
And Raven's being so normal.
So Rogue Team has entered the fray, as it were.
We get our little Avengers 360 moment real quick.
As the people with the augmentations start rushing your group, ready to engage. But we will cut back to the workshop. Val, you are still struggling against the construct that is holding you in place. Ops comes back.
Fucking Ops.
And she has 2 briefcases, which she sets down. One of them, like, pops open a little bit, and you see the batteries. One of them, like, falls out and kind of rolls onto the ground. And one of Victoria Prime's arms goes over, reaches, and picks it up, and then hands it back to Ops, who takes it and puts it back in that briefcase and latches it shut again. And she will then, like, finish whatever she was typing, turn, and she says to Ops,
Checkpoint 37, get out of here.
and Ops just nods, undoes a safe, and takes more of the batteries out and puts them into that briefcase. Victoria Prime walks over to you and stands next to her copy.
I don't suppose I know what checkpoint 37 means, right? Probably not. Just asking, out of curiosity.
You know that Victoria has, like you, she's probably got places to go hide, places to lay low for a while. It's something like that.
Okay.
You probably knew about some of her checkpoints.
Not all of them.
But not all of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't know where 37 is?
Nope.
But she will come over and Prime her says,
Now, do you want to talk this out, or do you want to escape?
I'm a little thrown by talk this out or escape. I'm like, wait, what? Hold. I short-circuited for a second.
It's okay if Val short circuits a little bit.
Yeah, clearly she's not in control of her own fucking hand.
I will say, so you know, she's not controlling your hand anymore. It was just to, like, make sure you didn't, like, ruin her shit. It was, like, a temporary, she took remote control. But again, you now know that that's the thing she can do, which we knew as an audience when she did it to Ed, but that's the first time she's ever done it to you.
Yeah.
Or even in front of you.
Yeah. I think she answers with talk about what?
The construct holding you now picks up the conversation and says,
It's normal to fight. I'm sorry if my vision has upset you, but we're being raided right now because you let some goddamn witch with a deck of cards shake your trust in me. We're supposed to be partners, Ariel. I think you have just as much to apologize for as I do right now. Losing this place is going to cost us.
She closes her eyes and just kind of sucks in a breath and just goes, I'm sorry, okay? They cornered me. They had agents outside. What else was I supposed to do, Tori? I was scared. You're scaring me right now.
There's a subtle hand gesture from Victoria Prime. The construct will lower you onto the ground and let's go. They say in unison, her voice coming out of both of them at once.
Oh, that's fucking creepy.
Evolution is only scary because human minds fear change. It's difficult, but that is the path of greatness. It asks for sacrifice, and we all have. Some of us more than others.
Her hand strays to her throat and rests on the output of her voice box.
I still think we can do great things together, Ariel, but you have to stop doubting me.
And I need you to start being honest with me.
The two of them exchange a look and then look at you.
I am what I am, Ariel.
She looks Prime specifically in the eyes. She's not acknowledging the robot. And a single tear rolls down her face and she just says, I know.
And that's where we'll end our session.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go lay down and cry.
Ooh.
Oh, man.
That was a hot one.
You can't lay down and cry. You gotta go through the F-chat.
F-chat now, cry later.
Gotta roll your sad little body down the F-chat channel. Sorry. Before you get to the floor, you gotta scroll through F-chat.
It's a long way down.
See you next time, adventurers.
Sugar, we're going down swinging.
God, that was juicy.